I'd like to think that in this time of the coronavirus crisis, there are a lot of prayers going up to God. Prayers for safety, prayers for security of health and finances, prayers for dealing with loneliness, prayers for stability, resolution, wisdom, and comfort. But is that all prayer is about? Invoking God in a crisis? Our words may say no, but do our prayers say yes? On the other hand, there are people who have a hard time talking to God. They're afraid that they're not praying right. They're afraid they don't have the right words to say. They're afraid that nobody might be listening. Are they just talking to the ceiling? Or if someone is listening, does that someone care? Is God a genie, or is God an unapproachable Wizard of Oz? That's the topic this time on Reboot Camp. During this period of isolation due to COVID-19, Reboot Camp is designed to replenish us and get us ready to go out to the world again with a new faithful attitude. I'm suggesting that by resetting our faith, we can also reset how we approach the world and make it a better place. Cecil Taylor Ministries is focused on teaching Christians how to live a practical 7-day faith. So in each devotional, I want to state a faith problem and recommend a remedy and how to put it into practice. This is number 3 of the 12-part series. Do we treat God like a genie? We don't have much to say to him, but when we need something, we rub his lamp, the God genie jumps out, and we ask him for our latest wish. I don't think God operates like a genie. And if he does, he's not very good at it. I mean, I don't get all my wishes fulfilled. Do you? Jesus tells us that our Father wants to give good gifts to his children. But God is majestic, ruler of all, and he holds our destiny in his hands. It doesn't seem like a good idea to treat him like a genie. On the other hand, we also can treat God like the unapproachable Wizard of Oz. We don't think we can say anything to him. We are afraid that we must meet certain conditions in order to get his attention or get favors out of him. Simply put, God can scare us. Recently, my sister and I were comparing notes about watching the Wizard of Oz movie when we were kids. I didn't realize that she was so scared of the Wizard of Oz and that whole movie. She should have known I was, because I was the one hiding behind the chair. The question is, how can we incorporate prayer into our daily lives? How can we talk to God? I have 2 practical suggestions for you based on these opposing views of God. Let's first talk about God as Wizard of Oz. So I've heard of a lot of different prayer patterns and techniques, and I don't dismiss any of them. The main point is to be talking to God. In fact, I prefer what author Philip Yancey said: if you're praying, you're doing it right. That's the main thing, just to get talking to God. Whether you're praying formally in a secret place, or whether you're just conversing while driving, whether you're following a particular pattern, or whether you're just streaming what you're thinking, whether you're glad or mad or sad in what you're saying, none of that matters. The main thing is to be talking to God. Get praying. You'll do it right, and God is ready to listen to you. Now let's talk about God as Genie. Recently, I heard a testimony from a brother in Christ, a very powerful one. He was talking about when he was growing up. As a child, they didn't go to church much, and he never really got this church thing. He married a good Christian woman, but he was just kind of tagging along without much conviction. But then she was struck by cancer. Uncertainty struck their finances. He and his wife started praying, and eventually things got better. But he said their lives were transformed when they changed their prayers, when they went from telling God what they wanted to asking God what he wanted. They quit telling God what they wanted, and they started asking God what he wanted. What a powerful idea. I can only imagine how God answered, but based on this couple's devotion and service, I imagine that he wanted a lot out of them. Now, I want to address a problem that some of you may have, depending on the denomination that you're in now or what you grew up with. I may be saying things that don't meet what your view of God is. But Cecil Taylor Ministries is about the things that unite Christians, not the things that divide us. So let's see if we can get behind the words of Jesus. Jesus says that we should ask God for what we want and ask it persistently. But he also says we should be asking for God's will to be done. Asking and listening. This is the essence of what we want to achieve in prayer. God is not a genie. God is not the Wizard of Oz. But he wants to hear from you, and he's waiting to listen.